Everyone is aware of the exponential increase in population in the last century, so it's not a surprise that many people think population increase is the reason for all environmental problems. What is less known is the fact that water consumption has increased far greater than population in the same period. Even in just one decade between 1990 to 2000, water consumption increased 6 times. How do we get so thirsty all of a sudden, you might ask? The thirst is not the thirst for water, it is the thirst for things. Virtual water is the amount of water that is required to make things. To make things, we need energy. Water is used along the line of production of energy from extraction to refining. If there is no water, there's no energy. The extraction, transmission, and treatment of water, on the other hand, also require energy. So there is a close relationship between water and energy. In California, the State Water Project is the largest single consumer of power in the state. 20% of energy used in the state is related to water. All energies are not equal. Some energies are more thirsty than others. Coal is the thirstiest. Water shortage in northern China has been linked to coal plants, according to the New York Times. As is shown in this infograph from Circle of Blue, the effect of coal on water in the United States is tremendous, given that we use about 1 billion tons of coal a year. We are not accustomed to think that when we use electricity, we are also using water. The world consumption of electricity has more than doubled just in the last 30 years. That translates into a huge water consumption increase. Another area of increased water consumption is agriculture. Globally, agriculture is the largest user of water. All foods are also not equal. This is a chart produced by the Water Unit of the Food and Agriculture Department of the United Nations. The black number is the number of gallons of water needed to produce what you see. This graphic from Thirsty Work allows you to visualize the amount of water needed to produce what we consume. Notice the amount required for coffee. Americans started to switch from tea to coffee in 1773 after the Boston Tea Party. Coffee was not common in the New World until the 18th century, and the global consumption of coffee continues to climb. This chart shows how the average person today is consuming water in terms of food and drink. The largest portion is from the consumption of meat. The per capita consumption of meat, along with sugar, coffee, and oil, has dramatically increased in recent decades worldwide. What is more, we are consuming large amounts of processed food today. Processing food requires energy and packaging. Both add another layer of water consumption, making our water footprint bigger than ever in human history, not because of the number of people, but because of what people are eating and drinking. Besides food, we also grow cotton for clothing. Cotton is a very thirsty crop, which is now often grown in irrigated arid regions like California. An Earth Day t-shirt seems like a good idea. Unfortunately, a single t-shirt uses large amount of water and pesticides to produce and puts out carbon dioxide in the production process, as is shown in this poster. We now live in a society in which even dolls have walk-in closets. The dramatic increase in water consumption in Asia since 1900 is a perfect illustration of the relationship between the standard of living and water consumption. This has a lot to do with the economic development of Asian countries like China. In terms of access to food and clothing, a large part of the world's population can now live like kings and queens of the past. On the surface, it seems like a wonderful thing.